Hello, the Pioneer viewers. How are you? I hope you're healthy and well. As the Pioneer team, we continue to share with you the developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. In a moment, I will share with you a very critical development. Chaos is the biggest enemy of the security, and any environment without stability and common sense inevitably leads to a chaos. Once chaos arises, security disappears, because in chaos, one cannot predict how events will unfold. Therefore, uncertainty and insecurity prevail wherever the chaos reigns. The war between Russia and Ukraine is a striking example. Russia's unpredictable actions in invading Ukraine initially created great turmoil within Ukraine. However, Ukraine managed to turn the situation to its advantage, and now the chaos has spilled over to Russia. And this mess seems to have appeared where it shouldn't have, in the heart of Russia, in the building of the Federal Security Service. So why is there chaos at the heart of the Russia's security establishment? Let's take a closer look at the recent developments to find the answer. Before we get into our report, a quick reminder. The Pioneer team is committed to bringing you the latest on the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. I also read all of your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments. Tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. Let's start if you're ready. The Pioneer reports. As we live through one of the most critical periods of the war between Russia and Ukraine, the intensity of the conflict is increasing. The effects of the war have now spilled beyond Ukraine's borders into the Russian territory. Recent developments have caused great panic and anxiety in Russia. Russia feels that it is approaching its inevitable end. Recently, a major explosion occurred in a strategic building in an important region within the Russian borders. After the explosion, black smoke filled the skies over the city of Rostov. The building where the explosion took place was the building of the Russian Federal Security Service, the highest body responsible for Russia's internal security. The Russian Federal Security Service is Russia's state internal security agency and successor to the Soviet-era KGB. The FSB is engaged in counterintelligence, internal security, border security, counterterrorism, combating organized crime, and investigating violations of the federal law. So it is directly responsible to the president of Russia. Therefore, events in the building pose a major threat to Russia. The city of Rostov is located very close to Ukraine's Luhansk and Donetsk oblasts. Therefore, events taking place in the city focuses the attention of the international community in Ukraine. However, there is still no definite information about the perpetrators of this latest incident. According to local sources, around noon, residents of Rostov were shaken by the sounds of the huge explosions. The sound of the explosions caused a great panic in the city, and people who took to the streets under the impact of the tremor were shocked by what they saw. Huge black smoke billowed over the city, and the huge fire that broke out after the violent explosions caused the smoke to rise up to 30 meters into the sky. These explosions reports have not yet been officially confirmed by the Russian authorities. However, the fact that the violent explosion sound was shared on the various Telegram channels immediately after the incident strengthens the possibility that there was indeed an explosion in the building. According to Russian media, teams from the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations quickly arrived at the scene and examined the area. The Emergencies Ministry suggested that the explosion was caused by an electrical fuse. However, recent events in Russia make this claim less credible. Eyewitnesses in the area said that the fire after the explosion grew rapidly and firefighters had difficulty bringing it under the control. It took hours to bring the fire under the control, and many buildings were severely damaged. There is currently no clear information on whether there have been any casualties or injuries, but the authorities are investigating possible casualties. The size of the fire following the explosions was so large that it took nearly 4 hours to extinguish, despite the hard work of the fire brigade. As a result of the fire, the building was almost completely destroyed. Although the Russian authorities have not made an official statements on the loss of life, local reports indicate that 4 people who were in the building at the time of the fire lost their lives. Russia has been struggling with the mysterious fires and explosions since the beginning of the war, and recently a major fire broke out at Russia's military aviation school. The perpetrators of these fires in these important locations cannot be found, and this situation pushes Russia to search for criminals. In recent months, Putin has instructed the Russian Federal Security Service to do more to counter increased espionage and sabotage attempts by Ukraine and the West. Putin blames Ukraine for these incidents in Russia. So on the other hand, Ukraine denied the allegations about these attacks. Ukrainian sources denied the allegations that Ukraine was behind the explosions in Rostov. Ukraine is not involved in these events, it is only watching, Ukrainian sources said in the statements. So these explosions in Russia has caused the alert level in Moscow to be raised to the highest level. The fact that the explosions, which have only taken place within Ukrainian borders since the beginning of the occupation, have now spread to Russia's borders is causing great panic in the Russian government. These events have the potential to further weaken the already fragile bond between the Russian government and the Russian people. Another remarkable fact about the explosions and the fire has come to the fore again. At the beginning of the last year, there was an arson attempt near the Federal Security Service building in Rostov. In this incident, two Russian teenagers, aged 17 and 21, targeted governmental recruitment building and the military facility. Although the Federal Security Service personnel thwarted the attack, the attempt by these two young men have again raised the possibility that they may have inspired others to similar actions. So according to the Russian sources, these latest explosions was caused by the malfunction in an electrical fuse. Ukrainian sources, however, put forward a different claim. Allegedly, Russian soldiers are smoking cigarettes, and the ammunition depot in the building caused the explosion. Ukrainian social media accounts have been making sarcastic posts and spreading jokes about the Russian soldiers who blew up the building by smoking cigarettes. In the aftermath of the explosions, security measures inside Russia have been further increased and public unrest continues to grow. The possibility of the more similarly incidents, especially with the arson attempt in Rostov, further increases the government's concerns, and the Russian government may have to take the strict measures to prevent such incidents from happening again. So, as the Russian public's trust in the government continues to erode, the social and political consequences of such incidents are becoming increasingly apparent. But right now, I want to know what you think. What could be the motive behind the explosions in Russia? And are there internal or external forces behind it? Are current security measures in Russia adequate? What is the likelihood of similar explosions in the future? Let me know in the comments, because you know that I read and I care a lot about all of your comments.